Okay. Can we have one lesson now? Alright. So before you start answering the question, you need to read the information that's provided, and then you do a quick scan of your diagram. Okay? Because the two are connected. So the first part of the question says, calculate the gradient of the line AC. That's grade 9. Okay? Calculating gradient is grade 9. Okay? So remember I told that for your paper 2, because that's where your circle geometry is, you must bring some highlighters to make things what? Easier for yourself. So, okay, you too. Okay. Would have us to spend time together and have conversation. So AC is this line. That's AC. Okay? So on that line, we are given the coordinates of A, the coordinates of C. That's grade 9. Okay? So let's find the gradient. So 3.1, the gradient of AC, which we can write as MAC. So MAC is equal to YA minus YC over XA minus XC. Right? I need you to be aware. I know that you are used to Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. But if you are given a specific line, the best way is to write your gradient in terms of that line. Yes. It's fine. I didn't say it's wrong. But the best way is to write the subscript of the gradient based on the line that you are dealing with. Yes. Yeah, but if you're writing it in the form of equation, you're writing it in the form of an equation, this is the best way of writing it. I'm not saying if you write y2 minus y1 is over x2 minus x1 is wrong. That's not what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. Right, so what is YA? YA is 12. YC is minus 9 over XA, that's minus 9, minus XC, that's minus 3. This will make it easier for you to identify the values of X and the values of Y. Because remember, if you say X2, Y2, you have to make a decision as to whether this point is where your X2 and your Y2 are, this point is where your X1 and Y1 are, or vice versa. Okay? Okay, just do it the way you were taught last year and the previous year. Okay, so this will be equal to 21 over minus 7. So the answer will be negative. Okay, minus 6. Right, I don't want to talk anymore. I've made mistakes. So that's 21, yes? Okay, so that's minus 6. So minus 6. So that's minus 6. So here we're going to get minus 7 over 2. Okay? So that's straightforward. Then determine the equation of the line RNS. So we have got R, N, S. Okay? Now, according to the question, is there any information which tells us that maybe AC is parallel to RNS? Yes. Okay? Where is that information? Okay, so it says N is point such that BN is from R is a point A, S is on BC such that RNS is parallel to AC. Okay, so we are done with that. So we are back again in grade what? 9. Grade 9 and 10. That's where we are. Wow. So So RNS is parallel to AC. That makes things easy. So I'm going to write this down. So okay, let me do it on the next page. On the next page. So I'll write here 3.2. So MAC is equal to MRNS. Okay, the reason for this is because lines are what? Are parallel. Lines are parallel. No, there's no mark allocated for this, but I'm a teacher, I need to give you a reason as to why I'm saying those gradients are what? Are equal. Why are they equal? Because I don't want anybody to leave my class and say, but he said gradient of AC is equal to the gradient of RNS. Why? That's the reason that the lines are what? Are parallel. So what this means is MRNS is going to be equal to -7/2. Now we are in grade 9. Because we have got a gradient and we have got a point. We have a point on the straight line. Okay? We have that origin. Do you see that? The line what? Sorry, the coordinates here are what? 0, 0. So the y-intercept is 0, which means we can write the answer straight away. So our answer here is going to be y equal to -7/2x. There's no y-intercept. The y-intercept is 0. Okay, so this question here, you can write the answer and get your full marks. Okay? You can write your answer and get your what? Your full marks. It's very easy. So this is the answer. Y is equal to -7/2x. Okay, any question? Any question? No. Alright. And then the next one, we need to calculate the value of A. So we now need to calculate the value of A. Now to calculate the value of A, it's very easy because point R, point N, point O, which is the origin, point S, they are collinear. Okay? They are collinear. So all I have to do is substitute. I can just substitute the value of Y. I don't know why they gave 4 marks for this question because it's an easy question.
Very simple. But you can't just do it on something.
Okay, let's use this. Alright, instead of using the straight line, let's use the distance formula.
I'm so smart.
I'm so annoyed.
Okay, alright.
Let's do quotient.
Yeah, okay. So, we are going to do the question using both methods, okay? But okay, honestly speaking, this is what we were discussing yesterday when I went for model, that sometimes the mark allocation of these questions is not fair, okay? Someone who uses the distance formula does spend more time as compared to using the equation.
But sir, if you did use the equation, would you still get 4 marks?
I would say yes, because you're using the correct analytical geometry concept. That points R, N, O, and S, they are what? Collinear. So if this point is on that line, then it must obey the equation. Okay? So let's do that. But before we do that, let me duplicate this page. Right, so let's say method 1. Method 1, we are going to use the straight line. Okay? So we got the equation. We got the equation. Okay? We got the equation. I don't like this one. So we got the equation. It's y equal to -7/2x. Okay? So y is equal to -7/2x. So we want a, right, which is an x value, so put 7 there. Right? This will be equal to -7/2 times a. Okay, x is equal to 8, so we'll get 14 equal to -7a, so a is going to be -2. Okay, which makes sense because the point is in the second quadrant, so x has to be what? Negative. Okay, so let's see method what? 2. Now method 2 is gonna be a little bit longer. Right? Method 2, calculate the value of A. So we are gonna use the distance. We are given the distance of BN. So method 2, so we say Bn is equal to the square root of, well, xb minus xn squared, right? If you are used to writing x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared, it's fine. But you need to know that I'm a new educator to you when it comes to this topic, so this is how I do it. Okay, so this will be equal to the square root. Now that Bn, we are already given here, it's 5 root of 5, right? Xb, it's 9. Xn, that's 8. Plus YB, it's also 9. And then that's 7 squared. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to square both sides. So I'll square that. I'll also square that. So this will give me 25 times 5 is equal to 9 minus A squared plus 2 squared. So this will give me 125 equal to, alright, we are breaking algebra now. So this will be 8 to 1. 9 times 8 give me 9A, so this is minus 18A plus A squared plus 4. Okay? So let's get on. If I want to simplify that, I just have to form a quadratic equation, which I don't like. Okay, so that will be 0 plus A squared minus 18A, 8 to 1 plus 4, that will give me 85. So if I take the 125, I'll get minus what? 40. Well, I'm smiling already. Okay? Am I smiling? That's fine. Let's check for me. 85 minus 125 is what? Minus 40. So this is fine. Then the next thing now is to factorize that. So we need 2 factors of 40 that will add up to what? To minus 18. It will be what? 20 and what? So this means we are going to have A minus 20 times A. Okay, this is a minus. So that will be a minus. So that will be plus what? 2. Right? Then from there, we have A minus 20 equals to 0, or A plus 2 equals to 0. And you get A equal to 20, or A equal to minus 2. Okay, here we have to reject. This one here is not applicable. Okay, A cannot be positive at n, because n is in the second quadrant. So what this means is A is going to be what? Minus 2. Okay, it's a longer method. So I think the question is not fair. Okay, the question is not fair. Look at it. Okay, you could just do it within 3 lines and then you are done. If you use the equation. Okay, so this is something that we had a discussion about. So if you use either of the 2 methods, you deserve your full marks. Okay? Any questions? Any questions? Alright, then let's move on to 3.4. Now 3.4, we now have to calculate that angle. Okay? Now this is gonna be easy, so let's do it this way. Can I have your attention? Can I have your attention? First, I'm going to calculate the gradient of BC. Then I'll get that angle of inclination, which I can call theta. And then I've got the gradient already of AC. So I'll calculate that angle. Then I've got theta already. So let me call that one what? Alpha.
M is alpha.
Okay, so I'll call it, are we told in the question?
Yes.
Okay, AM or AM or, okay, so this is alpha, and BTP, so this is what? Beta. Okay, if they told us, then they make things easier. Okay, so let's start with method 1. Remember, the question can be done using two what? Two methods. Okay, so let's start with method 1. Okay, let's duplicate that page. But this is interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting.
That I can just duplicate the page, save the work, carry on from where I stopped, instead of just erasing the board and all that.
Technology.
And all that technology comes from maths, you know that? Computer science. Yeah. Computer science. It's a very nice career, by the way. But some of you, I know you are doing IT already, but if you want to consider, can you stop that, please? Have your smilings later.
So what did you say? What did you say just now?
About what?
About us? I didn't hear you. You said it just now.
Yeah, I said some of you are doing IT.
Oh.
Right? Okay. It's one of the best careers nowadays. But you have to be very good in maths. Okay? Right. Let's get on. Let's get on. So, method 1, first, I'm going to determine alpha. Okay? So, alpha is going to be equal to shift tan of m plus 180 degrees. Okay? I know the gradient of AC is minus 7 over 2. So this means alpha will be equal to shift tan of minus 7 over 2 plus 180 degrees. Then I'll take out my calculator. Did I show you my calculator? Okay. So this will be shift tan fraction option minus 7 over 2. Okay. Then I'll just add 1 into there. Okay. So my answer is 105,95. Okay, so alpha is 105,95 degrees. The next thing is for me to find beta. Now, beta, okay, just to remind you, right? Both alpha and beta are angles of inclination. Because they are angles between a straight line and the x-axis, and they are measured in an anti-clockwise direction from the x-axis. Both of them. Okay? Theta is not an angle of inclination. Theta is not an angle of inclination. Okay? Right, so let's find beta. Now, we have got a problem. We don't know the gradient of BC, but we can calculate it. So, MBC will be equal to YB minus YC over XB minus XC. Okay? Then we substitute. This is very straightforward. We substitute. So my YB is 9. My XC is negative 9. Can you minimize talking? My microphone is active. Right? XB is 9. XC is minus 3. So you get 18 over 12. This is equal to 3 over 2. Okay? Right. I was hoping that people would be marking their work. Because this worksheet, you got it yesterday. And you should have started doing the questions during the maths lesson yesterday. If you didn't finish, you go home, you carry on, you finish. Okay? You come today ready for the lesson, just to mark your what? Your work. Alright, so let's carry on. So from here now, I'll just say tan beta is equal to 3 over 2. So beta is going to be arctan of 3 over 2. So we check out your calculator. upturn of 1,5. Fortunately, I can just write 1,5 there. Then I'll get 56,31 degrees. 56,31 degrees. Alright? Then I'm done now. Okay? Now if I wanna get theta, okay, we can use the exterior angle of a triangle. So this angle here is also equal to beta. So I can say MPC is equal to beta. So here I'll write here MPC is equal to beta, and both are equal to 56,31 degrees. Then I'll write bet opposite angles equal. Okay? Once I've done that, I'm smiling. So this angle is beta. We have got theta, that alpha is going to be an exterior angle of a triangle. So alpha is going to be beta plus theta. Okay? Remember you did that theorem in grade 8. Exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two interior what? Angles. You remember?
We were at home.
Grade 8. Okay. So alpha is an exterior angle. It's equal to beta plus theta. Do you see that? Huh? Do you see it? See it? Okay, I hope so. So here I'll say therefore alpha is equal to beta plus theta. Then I'll write the exterior angle of the triangle. So if I want theta, it's going to be alpha minus what? Beta. Now we have 105, 9 what? 5 minus 56,31 degrees. If you do the subtraction, you get 40 what? What's the answer? 39.44. Okay. So we have calculated, listen, we have calculated the value of theta using method 1. Okay? So let's move on to method 2. Method 2. Right, so let's use method 2. Method 2 involves construction. Okay? Method 2 involves construction. I can't go to method 3, by the way, because method 3 requires what's called the cosine rule, which you haven't done. We'll do it later in the year. So this finding the angle, this angle here, can be done using 3 ways. Okay? The third way you haven't done it, so I can't talk about it. Alright. Okay. Let me carry on now. Make sure you pay attention. So if I construct a straight line parallel to the x-axis like that. Okay, please, it's not a perfect line, it's parallel to the x-axis. Okay? Now this is interesting. Already we know that this angle is vertically opposite, isn't it? So it's equal to beta, which means this angle is going to be beta. Okay? Alright? And then this whole angle is going to be alpha. So again we'll come to alpha being equal to beta plus theta. Okay? Right. But if you are using this method now, you also have to provide all the required information. Because remember, it's 5 marks. It's 5 marks. So first thing, we constructed a line parallel to the x-axis. Okay? So we still need, listen, we still need to calculate the gradient of BC. So fortunately, we know what alpha is from method 1, so I'm not going to recalculate it. So this is 105.95. We know that from what? Method 1. So this is from method 1. If you were writing an exam, you have to calculate properly alpha. Then beta, we got that as 56.31. Again, this is from method 1. If you're in an exam, you calculate the gradient of what? BC. Then you get the value of beta. Fortunately, I found them, so I don't want to redo it because I'll be doing the same thing always. It's a waste of time, of my lifetime, by the way. Right, so let's carry on. Okay, so from here now, then I'll say, can I have your attention? Can I have your attention? Well, if I want to carry on here, I could create my own point. So this is point C, so I can create my own point here. Okay, which letter did I like here?
Use J.
Do you have D here? Okay, let's put G. So what that means is, okay, can I have your attention? So what that means is that beta is going to be equal to BCD based on my diagram. Okay? Beta is going to be BCD, and these two are what? Alternate angles. Then I can state here that MT is parallel to CD based on my diagram. If you have got your own diagram, then you label it the way you like. Okay? Once I have that, then I can say, therefore, theta is going to be alpha minus what? Beta, which is 105.95 minus 56.31. And here, I get what? Okay, so you still get the same result. Please take note here. I didn't write all the information, including the calculation of beta and alpha, because I done it in method 1. I didn't want to waste a few seconds of my lifetime. You mark your work. Alright. According to the question, the equation for BD is 3x minus y equal to 0. The line is passing through the origin. Okay? That's why we have got a 0 on the right hand side of that equation. So it says calculate perimeter of ABCD. Okay? Now, what is perimeter? Is the distance around the what? A shape. Now with a rhombus, you don't have to calculate all 4 sides because the 4 sides are what? Equal. So you just calculate one side, then you multiply the answer by what? By 4. Okay? So this one here is a piece of cake. Again, but who doesn't eat a cake here? Can you, like me, I don't eat chicken, by the way. Scrambled, boiled, fried, and so on. Okay. All right. Let's get on. All right. Okay. Can we get on? All right. So 4.1, we need to calculate. I need to stop my lesson because I'm realizing that I need to go and